I'm Sean Payton, head coach of the Super Bowl champion New Orleans Saints. When I became head coach of the Saints, I was on a mission to change this team from one of the NFL's least successful franchises into NFL champions. A lot of people thought it couldn't be done, but I had a plan to motivate a team and to restore hope and glory to New Orleans, a city that had seen so much pain. We succeeded beyond everyone's wildest expectations except our own. The ultimate victory was our only goal, and that victory is what we achieved. Now it's your time. Let me share with you actionable strategies that will enable you to achieve your ultimate goals. You know, I interviewed for the Saints head coaching job, and I didn't know if it was the right fit. This franchise hadn't won anything in its decades of existence. They were once called the Aints, and their fans wore paper bags over their heads. And when I was talking to the Saints, it was right after Hurricane Katrina. Louisiana was devastated, and not a whole lot of people thought New Orleans would ever recover. Many thought the team should just move out of New Orleans, maybe head west, I don't know, Los Angeles or somewhere else. In my profession, if you finally get that head coaching job, if you finally reach the pinnacle, you really got to feel right about it. Because if it doesn't work out, if the team doesn't win, you may never get a head coaching opportunity in the NFL again. There were a lot of reasons for me to turn down the job as head coach of the New Orleans Saints. But then I was talking to Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, and one of the smartest businessmen I know. Jerry said something to me that was very important. So often the greatest success comes when there's the greatest risk. I thought about it. I thought about the risks of the Saints job, and I thought about how important it would be to turn this struggling franchise around. I thought about the coaching staff that I could put together, the offense that I could run, the camaraderie that we could build. You see, I believed in myself. I had years of practice at my job. I knew I'd work hard as the head coach and that I had a well-thought-out plan to win. I had self-confidence. That confidence enabled me to take a risk. I know it's hard to take a chance. I mean, it's scary. You can take a risk, and I'm not going to lie, you might fail. But when you feel good about yourself and you feel as if you know exactly what needs to be done, a leap of faith isn't scary. It's necessary. When you have a well-thought-out plan, the risk in taking the job or executing on the course of action is minimized. The real risk is in keeping the plan to yourself and never implementing it. Because if you don't take that chance, if you don't take that big step forward, then you're never going to achieve as much as your talent and abilities will allow. I gave you an example of risk taking the Saints head coaching job, but let me give you the biggest risk I took after I became the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. In the Super Bowl, we were battling the Indianapolis Colts, and the idea for us was to keep the ball out of Peyton Manning's hands. We did the research, we planned, and we knew that we had a good chance of recovering an onside kick. So we decided to do the onside kick coming out of halftime. Not a lot of teams would do that in such a situation. That happens when a team is down or they're desperate. But we wanted to shake things up, and we were ready. So we opened up the second half with the onside kick, and we recovered it. Momentum shifted in our direction, and eventually so did the game. You don't want to look back and say, man, I should have taken that chance. You have to do it. Because if you do, I can promise you that when you succeed, the rewards are going to be a whole lot greater than if you had played it safe. Huge risk, big, big reward. If I say my goal for this season is for my team to win 7 games, and then my team achieves that goal, what have I really accomplished? Nothing. I've made it too easy to fulfill my goal. I've denigrated my own abilities. If I set my sights high and aim for the top, it shows I believe in myself and I believe I can accomplish anything. Same goes for you. Don't set your goals so low that you can't help but achieve them. Aim high. You have the potential. You have the talent. You have the drive. If you didn't, you wouldn't be listening to me right now. You have what it takes. Set your sights high and take what is yours. Here's my question for you. Is something keeping you down? If it is, you better find out right now by taking a hard look at your life. No excuses, because whatever may be going wrong needs to be fixed. It's okay, you've got time to right the ship. You just have to get on with it. Right now, no time to waste. Our first year in New Orleans in 2006, immediately we looked at how we practiced, how we lifted weights, how we traveled, and what hotels we stayed in, all the way up to playing the game. Take my word for it, it can be done. Take a look at every detail of your life. What you eat, how your desk looks, what you're wearing. You need to reevaluate all of it. You need to create an environment for yourself that breeds success, that makes you feel good, makes you feel like a winner, like you're capable of doing anything and accomplishing any goal you set your mind to. It's not enough for you just to get by. Your potential is much better than just getting by. And now is the time to step up. Get off your ass today and take action, as if there's a closing window of opportunity. When something in your life is not working, you identify the problem by examining the details and fixing it. It's never a question of whether you can or you can't do it. You have to want to do it. Set the bar high. There's an even playing field when it comes to desire. When you set your personal expectations too low, you create an excuse to fail. So once again, change what is not working and set your expectations high. Live with a sense of urgency by putting these practices to work. And I can tell you right now, it will not be long before your accomplishments reflect this effort. The answer is in executing the details. No shortcuts. You know how many years I went from job to job, city to city, and uprooted my family just to get a new, better job? I wish I could tell you that there's a shortcut, some easy way to get where you want to be. There's not. No shortcuts. And had my path been easier or handed to me on a platter, I doubt I'd be standing before you as a winning Super Bowl coach. If you want to be a winner, sacrifice is a part of the process. You have to put in the time. No shortcuts. You have to earn your stripes and take all the necessary steps that get you down the road to your goal. Accept the challenge of that journey. Do the hard work. No shortcuts. Everyone's going to have their ups and downs. You, me, everyone. And that's the truth. No one sails through life so smoothly that they never have to deal with a crisis. The question for you is this: are you going to be prepared when you hit a bump? Or are you going to get knocked down so hard that you can't get up? Which is it? You need to decide, because how you respond to a crisis, that's it. That's the test. That's what we call the watch this moment. The moment when you say, I know a crisis is coming, watch this moment. Watch what I do here, even though my back is against the wall. These defining moments are coming. Are you ready? Are you going to back down in the face of a slump? Are you going to let that stretch of difficulty beat you and kick your butt all over town? Are you going to shout, hey, I'm a victim, I don't expect this to happen? Or are you going to prepare yourself for the day when that crisis comes? And I didn't say if that crisis comes, I said when. Well, are you going to be prepared? Are you going to take the steps right now so that when the moment of truth comes, you're steeled, you're ready to turn this moment of crisis into the opportunity of a lifetime? With your back against the wall, will you be able to say, watch this moment? I'm going to take this difficulty and turn it into my time to shine. Prepare for it now. Because when you prepare yourself for the crisis that will no doubt come, then you are no longer a victim of circumstances. The road to success is built upon your collective reactions to episodes of difficulty and hardship. Get ready for these tests and take charge of your life. Everybody fails. Everybody trips and stumbles once in a while. That's life. You can either let that keep you down, or you can learn from it. Make something out of it. Look, I was the offensive coordinator and I called plays for the New York Giants, but the head coach took that responsibility away from me. I was demoted. Did I let it keep me down? No way. It ticked me off. I learned from it. I thought about my mistakes, and I was better off with my next job at the Dallas Cowboys. There is no perfectly smooth path to success. There's got to be some turbulence. That's how you learn what works and what doesn't. If you lose, if you stumble, you have not failed. The real failure is if you gain nothing from the experience. Use failure as a gateway to success. History is not an excuse for failure. You may have had some hard times, and you may think you're stuck in the muck. You know, it's easy to tell someone, imagine themselves as a big success. And then once you visualize your success, you can attain it. Yeah, well, it takes a lot more than that. Because if you've had nothing but tough times, I don't know how easy it is to just close your eyes and imagine fulfilling your dreams. That's unrealistic. So don't go that far. If you're down, set a realistic goal and meet it. Concentrate on small steps. Look to tomorrow and then the next day, not 6 months down the road. Make today count. Now, you may look at me and say, how can you relate to me? You're a Super Bowl winning head coach. You're damn right I am. But let me tell you something. When I took this job, no one was talking about us winning a Super Bowl championship for the New Orleans Saints. They were talking whether or not we could play in the same stadium that was home to thousands of Katrina victims. They were talking about whether or not we continue the decades-long losing tradition of the Saints. They were talking about how quickly I'd be canned. We had every excuse in the book to fail. A city in trouble, a franchise with no winning tradition. But you know what we did first? We stopped talking about the excuses. We had a rule, blame nothing on the hurricane. Nothing, not even if Katrina was really to blame. No excuses. History was no excuse. You don't let history make you. You make history. We decided to forge ahead, one step at a time, putting together a winning plan, a winning organization, create an atmosphere, have a game plan, one day at a time. Success today becomes tomorrow's objective. But the day you claim is today. Today, right now. Focus, obsessing about the future, and complete the task can paralyze any chance of forward progress. You can sit there and spend your day doubting your course of action. You can let fear and insecurity guide you, or you can look at the task at hand and just go out and do that task. That one task. Focus, one step at a time. Don't think about it, don't dwell on it. Just do the job. Just do the job. Forget tomorrow, forget all the long-term planning. Get it out of your head. When you do the job today, tomorrow takes care of itself. Focus and complete the task at hand. You gotta make your own decisions. You can't rely on other people. They don't know what's best for you. You know what's best for you. You know it here in your gut. Let me just give you a quick story. When I became head coach of the New Orleans Saints, I knew we needed a quarterback. The quarterback is the pivotal player in any football organization. Now, getting a good quarterback, that's the trick. We had a high draft pick, but the record of success for quarterbacks drafted at the top of the first round was a little scary. So we set out to get a free agent. We went after Drew Brees. I tell you the honest truth, for a while I thought he was headed elsewhere. And maybe he wanted to sign someplace else. But Drew just had shoulder surgery, and some teams were a little scared off by the shoulder. You can understand why, right? If you give a quarterback a big contract, and it turns out that he's held back by an injury, then you can set your franchise back for years. So a lot of smart people thought that maybe Drew was not worth all that much. A lot of really bright folks thought that we shouldn't pay up for him. We could have listened to those people. No one would have blamed us, and that would have been a very safe thing to do. Or instead of taking someone else's word for it, we could do our own research and make up our own minds. What we saw in Drew Brees was a guy with a shoulder injury who had the work ethic and the intangibles to heal and come back stronger than ever. What we heard was a true leader. We listened to what everyone else had to say, and we made a decision for ourselves. Was it risky? There's no denying that. We had no idea what offers Drew was going to get elsewhere, but we stuck to our plan and made him the best offer we could muster. We couldn't worry about everyone else. We had to do the best we could. In the end, we signed Drew, and the rest is football history. Throughout your life, people are going to tell you what to do. They'll tell you what's right for you. They'll tell you where to go, what job to have, what to name your kid. There are always people who think they know better than you. With a clear head, Take the time to listen to your heart and make the big decisions with conviction. A few years ago, we drafted a guy from Hofstra in the 7th round. Name's Marcus Colston. 7th round picks aren't expected to do big things. You try telling that to Marcus. He never used his low draft status as a crutch for failure. He didn't get depressed because he wasn't a high pick and others didn't see him as he saw himself. He didn't bitch and moan. What he did do is show us on the field that he deserved to play. Now maybe you say, well, I've never really been given a chance to shine. I don't want to hear it, because if you keep working hard, your time will come. Complaining, bitterness, it's a waste of energy. You need all that energy to do your job. Prepare yourself as if your number will be called, so that when it is, when the spotlight is on you, you will shine. Success is a journey. It doesn't come instantly. It comes to those who work for it every day and who commit themselves to being the best. You can avoid success by giving up the fight, but is that you? Is that a fair description of the kind of person you want to be known and remembered for? The fight is within you. Everyone has the inner fortitude to take their talent and turn it into success. You've developed instinct and intuition. You've paid attention and learned from others along the way. The tools for success are in your possession. You want to succeed? What you need to do is put together a plan. But not just any old plan that says, well, I'll be a millionaire a year from now. That's not a plan, that's a dream. No, I'm talking about putting together a thoughtful plan that is broken down into clearly defined objectives. This could be a scholastic plan, a family plan, a financial plan, or even a plan for getting yourself into top physical and mental condition. Whatever the case may be that pertains to your vision of success. You put together your plan and you begin to execute it on a day-to-day, hour-to-hour, minute-to-minute basis. Before long, you'll begin to see tangible progress in moving toward your goals. You keep working hard and you remember that success does not come in a day or a month. It comes when it's time. And it comes because you've worked for it and you deserve it. Do not forget that. Leverage your experience and knowledge, craft a plan with specific objectives, execute with determination, and claim the success that you deserve. It's not uncommon for success to usher in a sense of contentment, in self-congratulation. Someone is late to the office, that's complacency. Someone misses the bus, complacency. When complacency does set in, it is up to the leader to light the fire under the team, to motivate. You may find it necessary at times to find a crisis, one that will disrupt any false sense of security. If you have to take a small issue and blow it up in order to make your point, then so be it. Coach Parcells had a saying for when it becomes necessary to create a sense of discomfort. Put a rock in your shoe. That'll remind you there's no time for complacency. It's great to have real success and to be able to say, I fulfilled some of my goals. Not everyone can say that, and good for you if you've made it this far. But really, who the heck cares how far you've come if you've become complacent and you let your competition pass you by? Yeah, maybe you're doing okay, but you don't have time to get comfortable. You don't have the luxury of resting on your laurels. You know why? Take a look in the rearview mirror. Someone's gaining on you, and their goal is not to just catch up to you. They want to pass you by and leave you sucking on their exhaust fumes. I promise you that when your competitor passes you by, no one's going to remember you except as the one who lost it. That's right, someone else thinks their goals and ambitions are bigger or more powerful than yours. Unless you want to be forgotten, there is only one decision. You have to move forward. You want to stop and take a break? Maybe you've heard the saying, you can rest when you're dead. Today, right now, you know that someone is gunning for you. Someone sees that and says, that's the job I want. That's the job I want. I'm going to take it. or that's the top dog and I'm gonna kick his butt. I really believe that one of the most important things that keeps you on top is knowledge. Knowledge is power. Don't be satisfied. Stay curious, talk to people. No preconceived notions. No, this is the way we did it before. You put in the work so that no one knows more than you. You put in the work to disempower your adversaries. You put in the work to stay on top. You're ready. You know it works, and you can choose not to let up. You see the competition in the rearview mirror. They're either closing on you or you're pulling away. Brakes or gas. You choose the pedal. One of the most important traits in the path to success is this: tact. I see this as the ability to recognize the moments in which it is important to listen. Just listen. We've all been around people who feel the need to prove how smart they are by talking all the time. There are times when you should interject. There are times when you may be chomping at the bit to speak, but wait for the right moment and pick your spots. That shows real confidence. Your ability to know when to listen will often say much more about you than any spoken words. The three cornerstones of a successful life are simple: family, faith, and reputation. That's right, reputation. How your peers view you. It is that important because how your peers view you determines whether or not you will be successful. So how do you get a good reputation? Hey, it's real simple. Make yourself invaluable. Work your butt off so that people want to work with you and they view you as an undeniable asset. That's how you build a reputation. Man, it's a small world out there, smaller than you think. People talk all the time. You have to make sure that when they talk about you, they're saying something good. They're saying, this guy, I don't know what we'd do without him. Or this girl, you ask her to do something and she gets it done. It's up to you to build your reputation. Plenty of people gossip about petty bull. Plenty of people think they're a riot at the company picnic after they've had a few. Plenty of people trash talk about their bosses. And all of that may be fun in the moment. And that kind of behavior may bring you some momentary attention. But that's a recipe for failure in the long run. You'll develop a reputation, all right, but not the one that'll help you succeed. When you work hard, when you perform well at the tasks assigned to you, whether those tasks are getting a cup of coffee for someone, or putting together a PowerPoint presentation, then you're building a reputation. That reputation is your foundation for success. It doesn't matter how good looking you may be, what college you went to, or how much money your parents have. Hard work is the great equalizer. I know you've already mapped out your 5-year plan. In 3 years, I'll be doing this. In 5 years, I'll be doing that. Let me tell you something. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. Don't worry so much about the next steps. Because if you work your butt off today, I can guarantee you this: you won't have to seek out that next job. Because that next job will find you. Heck, I always wanted to be a college football coach. That was my plan. It didn't work out that way. I got offered a job in the NFL with the Philadelphia Eagles. And let me tell you, I took it and ran with it. You know why I got offered that job in Philly? Because I had a good reputation as a guy who worked hard. People heard that if you gave me a task, I did it to the best of my ability. That made people want to work with me. That made me an asset. I developed a reputation. Same goes for you, and it's very simple. Are you trustworthy and dependable? Are you honest and a hard worker? Are you a person of their word and that I can rely on? The answer is simple: when you develop a good reputation. Listen and seize that advantage. You owe yourself every advantage. The edge I'm talking about is this: distinguish yourself from the competition by talking to the successful people around you. Effective business leaders, those who have made a positive impact in your community, people you know who have experienced success in family or marriage. Listen to what they've done and how they've done it. People love it when you ask them for their stories or for their advice or to share a little information with you as to how they do their job. My go-to guy is always Bill Parcells. He possesses so much knowledge and experience that I'd be an idiot if I didn't try to learn everything I could from him. Be a sponge when it comes to learning from the successful people in your life. Listen and seize that advantage. You want to lead? It's not enough for you to just sit there and say you're a leader. And you absolutely can't lead by being the nice guy and everyone's friend. People gotta know that you are not just going to tell them what they want to hear. People don't respect that, and they know it's phony when they hear it. What people do respect from their leaders is brutal honesty. Hey, if people know that you're honest with them, that you're on their side and out for their best interests, then they'll listen to you and they'll follow you. There's an old expression about leadership. I think it goes like this. People really don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. Most people yearn for the truth. They ache for it. They ache for someone who knows what it takes to succeed and who cares enough that they'll be candid and open. It is up to you to know the people who you deal with and to find out what makes them tick. Take the time to figure them out. Make sure they know you believe in them, and then be honest with them, because you care about them and you want them to succeed. That is leadership. Let me tell you why Drew Brees is a great leader. He's the first to show up at work. He's the last to leave. He's not a braggart. Hell, he wasn't the #1 recruit out of high school. He wasn't the #1 pick coming out of college. He's not 6'4" with a howitzer for an arm. His former team didn't even try to sign him when he became a free agent. How does Drew Brees react to all that? He just wins. High school, college, the NFL, wherever he goes, he wins. The guys in the huddle don't give a rat's ass about where he was drafted, where he went to college, or how tall he is. They respect him because he commits himself to being the best. They respect him because he doesn't dance around and call attention to himself. He gives the credit to his teammates. Off the field, he leads by giving back to his community. A born competitor who empowers and builds up everyone around him. That is how you lead. I love it when I hear an opponent saying these words. Honestly, I tried hard. Because when I hear that, I know that guy just got his butt whipped. It's reasonable to expect a little bit of patience as you learn your craft and hone your skills. And trying hard may earn you a pat on the back, but trying only gets you so far. At some point, you've got to go get results. If you're someone that people rely on, and who isn't, your time is valuable. You've been tasked to do a job or tackle a responsibility because of your talent and position. But you better realize that those who rely on you have concrete ways of measuring your performance. So you do what it takes, and you perform. It feels good to work hard. It's great to put in an extra effort and make sure no one outworks you. But working hard and trying hard does not guarantee success. Hey, I'm not valued in my profession because I'm a nice guy or because I try hard. I'm valued because I win. And let's be clear about this. It's a job, not an entitlement. So if I lose, it's goodbye job. If I tell my bosses, I know we didn't win, but we were trying so hard, it won't be long before I'm out the door. Ultimately, the only thing that ever really matters is getting the results you're after. Put your knowledge, resources, and tireless effort to work for you. Find a way to win and deliver those results. If you're willing to fail, you will have a chance at victory. A chance. Success is no guarantee, but if you refuse to act or if you're indecisive and timid, there's a high probability that you will fail. Hey, the choice is yours. I can only tell you what I know from my own experiences. You're the one who has to go out and do it. Is it in you to take a gamble? Is it in you to risk losing? Because if you are willing to take that bold step, then you have what it takes to be a success in this world. The worst possible scenario, seeing great natural ability go to waste for lack of effort. No excuses. Take that chance. Within the spirit of bold conviction comes the rewards of success.